Am I implying masturbating? Yes, but also no. Hello, my loves. How are you doing? How are you feeling? If you have never seen my face before, it is a blessing to have you here. If you have seen my face before, it is a blessing to have you back. I was having some technical difficulties with my camera and my microphone, but we figured it out. So we're finally filming this video that I have been wanting to film for the last week. Going off of my last video, which was all about the sacral chakra, all about your sexual energy and why it is so important to tap into this chakra, to tap into this energy and begin to balance and heal any wounds, any stagnation, blocks that you might have in this energy center. If you haven't watched that or you don't know anything about the sacral chakra, I would highly suggest you go check it out before you watch this, because in this video I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into specific practices that you can incorporate into your life to really start to heal this energy. Now let's just get right into it. So regardless of what you are healing, the first step is always going to be awareness. Something that I think can be really helpful, and it's a really simple practice, is journaling. So some level of self-reflection is going to be really helpful, because what happens when we become aware of a wound but we don't know where that wound came from, or why it's happening, or what we can do about it, we can start to feel kind of helpless. We can start to kind of feel like a victim, and being in a victim mentality is not going to move you forward. Now, I will say, if you are in currently a victim mentality because you have been victimized, we have to hold space for that part of ourselves who was victimized. We have to show love and compassion to that part of ourselves. Otherwise, all we're doing is bypassing. If we're trying to heal, we have to acknowledge and hold space for the experiences that led us to needing to heal in the first place. Get a journal and check in with yourself. Check in with yourself first thing in the morning and at the end of the day, or either or, depending on what works best for you. And some questions you can ask yourself in this journaling practice is, how connected to my body do I feel today? Or how connected to my body did I feel today, if you're doing it at the end of the day? How safe in my body do I feel right now? What emotions came up for me today? Was I overindulging in my emotions? Was I honoring my emotions in a healthy way? Was I avoiding my emotions? Do I feel nourished and loved right now? Or did I feel nourished and loved today? If the answer is yes, that is awesome. What can I do tomorrow? Or what can I do throughout the day or at some point during the day to add to that feeling, to continue nourishing myself? If the answer is no, I do not feel nourished, I do not feel loved right now, okay, what can you do at some point today? What can you do as soon as you wake up tomorrow to nourish yourself and show love to yourself? Because we have to remember that self-love, loving yourself, it's an act, it's a verb. Love is a verb. So if you are trying to learn to love yourself, you can't just get out of your head and like try to convince yourself that you love yourself while actively not doing anything to show love to yourself. It's kind of like, you could tell someone that you love them all day long, but what are you doing to actively love them? Are you listening to them? Are you holding space for them? Are you judging them, or are you embracing them? Are you supporting them? Are you paying attention to their love languages and, being mindful of what you do to express love in their language? It's the same thing for yourself. What can you do right now or at some point today to nourish and love yourself? Checking in with yourself like this every single day is not so that you can start to judge yourself. The point is simply so that you can become aware of what it is that you need to do, what changes you need to make, what changes you get to make. Shifting your perspective in that way. So let's say you realize that you are super disconnected from your body, you are not comfortable in your sensual nature, you are not comfortable in your sexuality, your sexual nature, and this doesn't just mean sex with other people. Maybe you really don't feel safe being naked or intimate around other people. But 9 times out of 10, it's not just because of the other person. If you don't feel safe in your body with them, it's probably because you don't feel safe in your body with you. Now, if you don't feel safe in your body at all, ever, on your own, it's gonna be really hard to tell, do I feel unsafe with this person because this person isn't a safe person? Or because I'm just broken and I need this person to fix me, right? And that's how we end up in unhealthy situations like that. And this goes for everything, right? It goes for all aspects of our life, right? We always want to start with us first. So one practice that is really fun, and you can do it all the time, you can do it every day, it doesn't really require much thought. I don't feel like this is a scary practice. It might be, I mean, shit, I don't know, it might be kind of intimidating for you at first, but I feel like this is something that no matter what level of fear or shame or disconnectedness you are at within your body and your sensuality, I feel like this is a pretty approachable practice. And it is just dance. Specifically, shake your ass, twerk a little bit, move your hips. If you don't know how to twerk, it doesn't matter. If you don't know how to move your hips, we're not all Shakira, it's okay. Just throw on music that makes you feel good, throw on music that makes you feel a little sexy, or just music that makes you feel happy, that makes you feel alive, whatever it is. Women in particular store a lot of stress and pain and trauma in their hips. So think of like when you're nervous, like you're about to like go do something and you kind of like you gotta like shake your hands out, right? Like that is not just a placebo effect. You are literally moving that energy around, the nervous energy that you have, right? Because our body stores everything. Any experiences that you've had that were painful or uncomfortable or traumatic, if you did not process those fully, your body's gonna hold on to it. So if you have experienced any kind of sexual trauma, if you have experienced any kind of shaming around your emotional expression, about your sensual expression, tapping into your body and dancing, moving your hips, you are literally allowing that energy to be moved and shaken up and processed and released. You can do this with the lights on, you can do this with the lights off. Now, obviously you want to be mindful. You don't want to like be tripping over shit and stubbing your toe, but you can kind of turn the lights down, maybe light a few candles, make it kind of sensual, and just like fucking shake your ass. Or if you are feeling really bold and really comfortable with yourself, you can do this in the mirror. I will get like a bunch of blankets and pillows so that I'm not like hurting my knees, and I will just like, I'll get in front of the mirror and I'll move my hips around, and I'll practice breathing as well. And this is a form of mirror work, and it's a way to more deeply connect with yourself. But again, if you're not ready for that, sometimes turning the lights down, not being around mirrors, is actually a really great way to get out of your judging, egoic mind. You don't have any distractions, you don't really have any opportunities to look at yourself and judge yourself, so you're kind of forced to get into your body. And that's the goal of all of these practices, is to really get into your body. Another really great practice is sensual self-massage. Now, am I implying masturbating? Yes, but also no. So listen, again, all of us are going to be at different places in our healing. We are going to be at different levels in our comfortability, and some of us might be like, I don't need to do this to heal my sexual energy. I masturbate like every single day. I have a drawer full of toys. I don't need to do this. But let me say something, okay? You could be highly sexually active with yourself and with other people. That does not mean that you are connected to your body. It doesn't mean that you are connected to your sexuality. It doesn't mean that you have a healthy relationship with your sexuality. Regardless of whether you are one side of the spectrum or the other side of the spectrum where you were like, that makes me so uncomfortable. The thought, like the thought of touching it. No, like, regardless of where you are at, sensual self-massage can be a beautiful way to get back in touch with your body. So what you can do to start, you can do this when you're in the shower, you can do this before you go to bed and you're winding down. I want you to think about, how would you like a lover to touch you? If you were just being intimate with them, how would you want them to touch you? How would you touch them? How would you show affection, right? Think of like really like soft, gentle touch on your arms, on your legs, on your chest, on your back, on your neck. You can use your nails really lightly. You can use just your fingertips. Like, touch your own skin. You know how often we have opportunities to do so and we don't? Like, most of us shower every day and wash our hair and wash our bodies, whether we're using a washcloth or a loofah or whatever. Like, most of us are coming into contact with our bodies every day. And how much of that is being done on autopilot? That's another thing that you can reflect on. How often am I, when it comes to my body, whether I'm eating food or I'm showering or I'm washing my hair or I'm putting my clothes on, or I'm brushing my hair, am I doing these things on autopilot, or am I actually taking that opportunity to connect with myself? This is why sensual self-massage is such a great thing. Just close your eyes and be like, oh, that feels good. That doesn't feel good, but that does, so I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna stay here for a little while, right? Just be mindful. Start to build a relationship with your body, with your skin. What feels good? What doesn't feel good? Then what you can do is you can take some kind of an oil or a lotion, preferably natural. I just got almond oil and some lavender essential oils and frankincense, a little bit of frankincense because I love frankincense. And I mixed it up, and I will use that to massage my legs, to massage my hands, my arms, all over. And it smells delicious. It feels great. You can warm it up in your hands. Natural is preferable because our skin is the biggest organ that we have, and everything that we put on it, we're absorbing. But you know what? If you like your Bath and Body Works shit and you just love the way the warm vanilla sugar smells, you do you. You do you, okay? Whatever you have, whatever is accessible and available to you, use that. Not only is self-massage and self-touch really good for you, because when you are massaging yourself, you are just moving things around in the body, like your lymph. You're allowing everything to be flowing the way that it's supposed to be flowing, so that your body can function optimally. But you are building a relationship with your body. You are telling your subconscious, I don't have to be afraid of my body. I don't have to be afraid of being touched. I don't have to feel unsafe in my body. The goal is to little by little start to create safety in the body. Start to open yourself to be led and guided to where you feel safe. And if that means coming to a place of connecting with your yoni and doing a little self-massage down there, then do that, right? Listen to what your body is saying is okay. Listen to what your body is saying feels good and feels safe. Something that can happen when you are either dancing or practicing self-touch, self-massage, you may get emotional. And I've had moments when I've been like twerking it out and like having a great fucking time, and then all of a sudden I start to get not sad, but I start to get emotional, and certain uncomfortable emotions start to arise, whether it's anger or sadness or grief, or maybe there's no rhyme or reason to my emotions or my tears, but they start flowing. And when that happens, this is a good thing. What happens when you have emotions that you were not processing, that have been buried deep, deep down? When you open the floodgates, those emotions are going to rise to the surface. You've been burying them down, and now you're releasing the pressure, so they're going to rise to the surface. When that happens, you want to allow it. You don't want to try to reason or analyze with it. You just want to allow it. You don't want to judge yourself. You don't want to try to redirect or be like, oh, but I'm supposed to be feeling good, like, or I was feeling so good a second ago. Like, just let your body do what it needs to do. Allow these emotions to rise. Another way you can start to heal this sacral, sexual, emotional, creative energy is by spending time in water. Water is the element that is associated with this energy center. Water is very healing and clearing and cleansing. So you can take baths, maybe like an Epsom salt bath, or when you are in the shower, be more intentional and express, it might seem silly, but like express gratitude to the water for clearing you, for cleansing you, for cleansing and clearing any trauma or discomfort that you have been holding on to, or that you've been experiencing throughout the day. And you can kind of visualize the water, whether you're in the bath and you take like a bucket or a loofah and like let the water like run down your body, or you're in the shower. Visualize the water cleansing and clearing whatever heavy energy or shame or fear that you are holding on to or processing in this moment. Maybe make your shower experiences or your bath time a little bit more luxurious, again, activating and awakening the senses, so you can tap into your sensual nature. Light some candles, play some relaxing music, throw in some Epsom salts, some essential oils in the bath, maybe like a bath oil or a bubble bath or a bath bomb, or literally whatever you need to do. You could have some tea in your bath, you could have maybe eat some fruit while you're in the bath, you could read a good book. When I was first healing this energy, when I was first starting to heal from like sexual trauma that I've experienced in the past, I spent a lot of time crying in the bathtub. I would run myself a bath and I would be like relaxing and vibing, and then I would start to like just get really emotional, and instead of shaming myself or suppressing myself in any way, I just allowed myself to feel whatever I needed to feel. And you want to have a lot of compassion with yourself during this time. This is less of like a daily practice and more of just something to be mindful of. Take stock of if there's someone, or maybe multiple someones, that you are intimate with, that you are having sex with. I want you to take stock of whether or not you feel safe with that person. Do you feel safe with them? Do you feel safe to open up to them? Do you feel safe to be intimate with them? Just because you get naked doesn't mean you're being intimate, right? Do you feel safe to be vulnerable with them, to be sensual with them? Do you feel safe to communicate with them? What feels good, what doesn't? Do you feel safe, period? And if you find that you don't feel safe with this person, practice setting boundaries with those people, and take the time to step away from giving that energy away to people who don't know what to do with it, and come back to yourself and start to create a relationship, an intimate relationship, a loving relationship, a nourishing relationship with yourself and your body and your sexuality. And finally, this kind of goes back to the practice of mindfulness, and that is doing inner child work. When you uncover what is causing the shame or the fear or the insecurity, or what's causing you to disassociate from your body, disconnect from your body in any way, you can now, and you should now, take the time to speak to that version of yourself. When those disconnects start to happen, or you start to disassociate, or you start to shut down or shame yourself in any kind of way, you can recognize, oh, that's just my inner child trying to protect me. Right now, my inner child, the part of me that doesn't feel safe, the part of me that experienced something that caused them to feel unsafe, that caused them to disconnect from their body, that part of me is trying to protect me right now and protect themselves right now. And you can show love to that part of yourself. Be gentle with yourself, step away from the situation, or go take a bath, go do some breathing exercises, go sit in meditation, you can simply run your hands over your body so you can connect back into your skin. This is also an anxiety practice. Check in with your 5 senses. So what can I smell? What can I see? What can I taste? What can I touch? And what can I hear? I was like, what's the last one? And what can I hear? You can do that to kind of come back into your body. The more you are actively showing yourself love in that way, you are healing that sacral energy. So these are just a few practices that I feel are pretty approachable. They have helped me a lot as I've started to heal my sacral energy, my sexual energy. So I hope these were helpful. I do also want to say that, I genuinely believe that we have the capacity to heal ourselves. However, if you find throughout this process that there are experiences that have deeply affected you, that have been deeply traumatic, whether they happened recently or in childhood, I would highly suggest, if you feel called, if you feel like it's necessary, to seek out professional help. Because I'm just a person, I'm just a girl who is sharing techniques and practices that have helped me, but I am not a therapist. I am not a licensed therapist. I am planning on getting certain certifications in different somatic modalities and things like that, but I am not a therapist. So if you feel called to get more help in that way, there is nothing wrong with that. So with that all being said, I'm sending you so much love. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below, or if you want to DM me. I was taking a little bit of a break from Instagram just for my own mental health, but feel free to DM me. I will be back on there actually probably by the time this video is uploaded, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. So I love you, and I will see you in the next one.